And I tell you something, the first person I want you to hear from today is not an American citizen. She's a lady from Canada who faced a truly life-threatening medical condition. You probably know her from our television ads, Shona Holmes. Have you seen the ads around the country? Yeah. She's a courageous, courageous individual. She's been under assault in her own country from the media there and from the left, and here in the United States under an unrelenting attack and assault. And I wanted you to hear from this lady who has had the courage to stand up and tell her story, and then through Americans for Prosperity Foundation to help us tell her story to literally tens of millions of Americans. Please welcome Shona Holmes.
Wow. I'm actually here because I'm so envious of what everybody is doing here. It is just amazing. I wish we could get this kind of movement in Canada because, to be quite honest, I am the face of your potential future. I am the face of government-run healthcare. And unfortunately, my story in a nutshell is that I came down, was diagnosed with a brain tumor. I was put on a wait list to see a neurologist and an endocrinologist that were going to take anywhere from 4 to 6 months. Our government is so proud that we've been able to reduce wait times for MRIs to the average is 100 days, and they are actually very proud of those numbers. And we hear 100 days so often that it becomes the norm. And the more time that I've spent down in the United States, I've come to realize that Americans won't wait 100 days for an MRI, and you shouldn't. Yeah, and you shouldn't. Because had I waited 100 days, I wouldn't be here today, and I am so fortunate. Because what I did was, on the advice of a lot of American friends, said, just go to another doctor. And you can't do that in Canada. You can't choose your own doctor. You can't choose your own care. So I came down, I went to the Mayo Clinic in Arizona, and within 1 week, I had every test that I needed. And the most wonderful part for me was that 2 of my doctors, who were spectacular doctors, were Canadian doctors. And they were Canadian doctors that were fully trained in Canada, but could not do their job at home. And so I was lucky. I felt like I was at home away from home. I have never, ever been felt better, treated better, felt like the consumer. And I think that that's so important, because when you become a patient that's a number, you are no longer the customer. And it's important to remain being the customer. And so from there, I got my treatment, and I was very, very fortunate because they sent me home to Canada, and Canada told me to get back in line. And that was the hardest thing in the world for my family to face. So 3 weeks later, after fighting all the bureaucracy to try and get me treatment, I didn't want to step in front of someone that was sicker than me. It was harder for me to admit that I was the one that was the sickest and I couldn't get help. So I came back to the United States and I had surgery, and I feel so fortunate. But I'm more fortunate to see all of these people out here fighting for this, to stop government-run healthcare, because you will be sorry. So thank you so much for letting me be part of it and part of your homes. My face is recognized a lot more than I ever expected it to be, but I feel like I'm within family, and we're neighbors, and we're coming down as Canadians in droves, getting our treatment across the border, because your care is great. And we've got to start opening the borders and start working together and be the neighbors that we are, and help each other. So keep up the good work. Thank you.
Thank you, Shona. Thank you very much. And I'll tell you something, you're right. You're with family now. I can guarantee you that.